typically Brennan kicks us off. Brother Brennan kicks this segment off for who he thinks is going to, come first, second, third, and last in the division. But Nola's dad, kick us off here. What do you think is going to happen in the AFC North for the 2023 to 2024 NFL season?
You know what I'm going to tell you, Tank? I'm going to tell you what. After, doing a little research on this division, it's a tough call because it's another division where there's, 4 teams in there that are going to be highly competitive.
That's right.
So I really think, my biggest, this is not even for this division. This is for the entire NFL, like all the divisions, all betting. I'm not believing the hype until it's real. You know what I mean? Like last year when I did the bets for the future bets for division winners, I'm like, oh man, these guys are hyping them up, saying they're going to be really good. These moves they made, hey, well, another one, Kirk Cousins going to take a step backwards. He's not going to be just as good. Just using that as reference, I'm not believing the hype this year. So they're saying they're going to have to show me something.
That's right.
So we're going they're going to win it again. They're just too high powered of an offense. They got one of the top 3 best quarterbacks in the league. Place which way you want. Joe Burrow. As long as he's healthy, they're going to win the division again.
Okay. So let's start from the bottom up to the top, so to speak. This is we typically say let's start from the bottom to the very top of the cream of the crop of the division.
All right, so let's do this. So I already fucked it up. Anyways, I'm going to hate to say it, but it's not going to be a bad thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be at the bottom. Unfortunately, I think that they're a great team. They just I don't believe in Kenny Pickett yet. Okay. He didn't do anything last season that really showed me that he's a guy. You know what I mean? He had glimpses, but he has to really take a step forward. And to do that in this tough a division, especially with my next team, a team that's getting a little bit better, the Cleveland Browns, you got to play them twice. Solid defense, made some good acquisitions. Myles Garrett's always a fucking a dog over there. Denzel Ward, okay. And then after that, we got the Baltimore Ravens with a healthy Lamar Jackson.
That's right.
Lamar Jackson is back. He's got some weapons, hopefully. He's got Rashad Bateman.
What?
Zay Flowers.
What?
And could have been, should have been, would have been Super Bowl MVP, OBJ Odell Beckham Jr.
Indeed they do.
Yes, they do. Hey, he's got Mark Andrews over there. So he's got some weapons. He's going to come back, full bill of health. He'll come out there, and he's going to have to really show that he earned that contract. So I like it. I like that. And then, of course, you got the top of the mountain, like I already said. I got the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow, one of the top 3 quarterbacks. Place him where you want. Jamar Chase going to take another step forward because his contract's coming soon. T. Higgins playing for a contract. Damn right. Tyler Boyd's playing for a spot on the team. And that defense shows up. It shows up in big games. So
they do. Indeed they do.
It's going to be a tough – hey, listen, that division is going to be a fucking a warhouse all year long. There's going to be some dog fights between them. And I'm going to love it. I can't wait for those division games. But there's going to be some tough ones, but I really think Cincinnati Bengals are going to be the one on top.
So if you ask me, what do you got? Starting from the bottom, and this team they're pretty used to being down at the bottom of this division. I think even with all the additions, right, plenty on the defensive side, the Cleveland Browns are going to come in last.
Okay.
But I do think if they do get like the Houston Texans version of Deshaun Watson before the massages,
hopefully,
they will be an over 500 team. I believe they're set at like 9.5 or 10.5 for the over/under on the season. I think they could be a 9-win team for sure. The defense is solid. You got Clowney, you got Garrett, who's always in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year. They just added Devondre Campbell for the Minnesota Vikings. The list goes on. They got some fucking guys.
Yeah, they do.
Over in the dog pound. But I don't know if we're going to get that same Deshaun Watson, man. 2 years is tough to come back from, especially at the quarterback position. He didn't really show any glimpses at all last year. But we'll see. And then especially they got the all-white alternate uniforms. Not going to be great.
Damn.
But they still have Nick Chubb. Still have a top 5 offensive line in the league. They lost Kareem Hunt, but they have Jerome Ford, who they drafted last season.
He's a dog.
They got high hopes with him. I mean, everyone has a good camp, they say, but they're saying he's having a good camp so far.
Right.
I mean, we'll see this Thursday, right? The Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think the chemistry is going to be there for the Browns. Somehow, still finish last. Dog shit. Third place.
Who we got?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, 16 years in a row with a winning record. It's going to be 17 this year.
Okay.
I think this is one of the most underrated and probably one of the best divisions in football. Because I think the AFC North could easily come out with 3 playoff teams.
Yeah, they could.
I think the Steelers might find a way in there, or they're going to be on the brink of it this season. Kenny Pickett, like you said, he showed glimpses of it last year. I think now he's got a full camp, first team reps and everything.
Right.
Looks properly jocked. Been putting in the work. This could be the big year for him.
Hey,
Step it up, man. I mean, another year with George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. He just got injured the other day. We'll see what happens with him. Underrated trade, Allen Robinson for like a 7th round pick. Still, like, he's older now, but
still got Nosh.
he's not really getting paid, so it's like,
yeah, you gotta go show out.
he can still play.
Yeah.
Nosh.
Nosh.
As long as they give it to Nosh.
Nosh.
Upgraded their offensive line. They got some fucking dogs on the line.
Yeah.
Isaiah Samalalu or whatever the fuck his name is from Philly. Philly
Could
obviously
be
had the best offensive line last year. Drafted a guy. Defense is always fucking top 10. We know that, right?
Yeah,
they made some additions there.
You ain't even gotta explain that.
Pat P, he's going to be an underrated signing. So Steelers are going to come out and play, man. They're going to be competitive throughout the season.
And you always got T.J. Watt just fucking sign the contract and play ball, Watt.
Exactly. He kicks the fucking doors down.
He does. He says, fucking let's play.
That's what he's going to do this year as well.
A fucking couple
and maybe if they're on the brink of a playoff run, maybe we see J.J. Watt at the end of the year come and play for them.
Good.
Maybe.
Good.
But now second place. Now this is where it gets interesting. I got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Whoa. Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals coming in second. Now that we see this Joe Burrow's hurt, right?
Yeah.
They already start the season off slow. Every season he's been in the league. This doesn't help their case at all. And I think they start the season with a sort of a tough schedule. Week 1 division game against the Browns, who we just said they're going to be competitive. AFC North football, man, it's always tough. You typically don't see any of those teams going 4-0 in their division.
No.
So Bengals could start off a little rocky, and I do think them losing Von Bell and Jesse Bates is going to hurt them.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt them.
Those are 2 big leaders.
Because especially a young team, like you see it with the Bills, if you have 2 big-name safeties who go out and show out, that's success right there, man.
Pay them. You see what happens when they went down in Buffalo. Pay them.
Exactly.
Keep them on the team.
So them losing Jesse Bates and Von Bell, I think that's going to hurt them. They lost a few corners. Defensive line still there. I mean, they're still going to be competitive. Yeah. T. Higgins is playing for money this year, so I think there's a chance he could have a better season than Jamar Chase. We'll see, bro. I mean, their offensive line, they got Orlando Brown, strengthened that offensive line up a little bit, which they've been shaky for the Bengals the past couple of years. I just don't know. They're going to have another tough start, man. Who knows? Like we were just talking earlier with the Joe Burrow thing. It could be more than what they're saying.
Let me ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're talking about this, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You're going on a nice promo. I love it.
Thank you.
T. Higgins is playing for money.
That's right.
If Joe Burrow's injury is more than what they say it is, and it looks like it's downhill battle for the Cincinnati Bengals, could we see T. Higgins on the market?
So I don't know, because I think at that point it'd be like a sign and trade deal, right?
But would it be though? Because he still got this year that he can play.
Typically though, like,
I mean, you could technically call it a sign and trade. Whoever he's getting traded to is definitely going to sign him. But
Right.
does Cincinnati have the money to give to T. Higgins? Because he, let alone himself, is a wide receiver 1.
Oh, for sure. He's good. He easily a wide receiver 1 by like 80% of the league.
And look at what wide receiver 1 money is getting paid, and then look who's got to get paid next year. Both Jamar and Joey B.
Yep.
So
I don't know.
There's only one person in that mix that is.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably the way it's going to work.
To the Bills. Bring him to Bills.
That'd be wild. But nonetheless.
Yeah, keep going.
Nonetheless, though.
Let me talk to you,
dummy.
Yeah.
Could be shaky start for the Bengals, especially with the whole Joe Burrow thing happening. So that leaves me with the Baltimore Ravens winning the division. And I do think there is a chance. I'm taking a flyer on this one. Looking at their schedule and everything, if they're fully healthy for the whole year, they could be a surprise number 1 seed team.
This dude loves the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson.
Bro,
he loves Lamar
his winning
Jackson.
percentage since he's gotten to the league is just about 80%. This guy doesn't lose.
Hey, you can't win in the playoffs. That's the only downfall.
You can't keep the team on your back the whole way.
He loves Lamar Jackson. Hey, you know what though? I'm not going to disagree with you because this is a tough division.
Yep.
My 1 and 2, I could have flip flopped with them the entire day.
And plus, people are overlooking this as well. I forget the offensive coordinator's name. He's coming from Georgia. I think he worked with Lamar a little bit at Louisville.
Okay.
When Lamar had that crazy Heisman year.
That was his guy?
He was a throwing quarterback, right?
Yeah.
As you've seen, if you look up some Baltimore Ravens training camp videos, you've never seen Lamar Jackson roll out into a play action to the right under center. He's always in the shotgun. Every play.
Yeah,
they're switching it up. Lamar's going to be throwing a lot more. Don't be surprised if he gets damn near 4,000 yards this season.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
It. We're big Lamar people.
And if you get a healthy OBJ, if you get the OBJ from the Super Bowl before he got hurt, like you said, he could have easily been the MVP. If you get that OBJ, plus this Zay Flowers, plus Rashad Bateman, it doesn't got to be a number 1 target.
No, just a nice slot guy.
And Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, their offensive line they're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. You got a loaded backfield. You got J.K. Dobbins if he's healthy. We'll see how that goes. They signed Melvin Gordon, Gus Edwards, running back by committee over there.
Hey.
It's going to be interesting. Plus, their defense is always solid. I'm not sure off the top of my head what additions they made over there, if they made any at all, but they're always ranked high as well.
Dude, hey, listen. I can't argue on anything there.
And like you said, Action Jackson got to prove something, man.
That's what
he just got that paid money. There was a whole we already forgot there was a whole fiasco over the offseason.
Yep.
So I think if fully healthy, bro, watch out for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I really think there's a high possibility they take the. It was a tough decision for me today to come on here to tell you that I was going with the Cincinnati Bengals. The only thing that I told myself this year, like I said earlier, is when it comes to betting and predictions, I'm going with what has already, you know what I mean? Like what I know.
What
I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could say that OBJ can be a great addition. OBJ could be trash. It could be the OBJ that went to Cleveland. You know what I mean?
It could be.
Zay Flowers could be great. Zay Flowers could not be great. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett could be a guy. He couldn't be a guy. Deshaun Watson could. Fuck Deshaun Watson. I don't know.
Don't even.
But anyways, hey, listen. I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Are we taking tallies? Are we seeing who's the fucking smart one? Who's winning, dude?
Well, that brings me to this.
Okay.
So you said you got to go with what you know, but you always got to keep an open mind and
yeah, of course,
and be willing to learn some things.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, let's pass it over to our Stats Savant, our numbers guy, Jacob Money Martineau.
Let's hear it, Money Mart.
It's like I jumped in the parking lot.
I told you.
I didn't want to.
I was hoping that wasn't the case.
Charges may be filed. We'll have to
Okay.
see.
Damn.
This tall guy just came out of nowhere and he's hit me with a stack of papers that had football stats on. Got my ass kicked.
Hey, and he has a lot of papers.
He does have a lot of pay.
I'm glad it wasn't a laptop. It would have been a laptop. I could have been.
I wonder who could have done that.
I don't know. He had a mask on, so I don't know. We'll never know.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's segment. We are hitting the AFC North. As always, let's look at the FanDuel odds for this division. So we have Pittsburgh in last, coming at plus 490. We have Cleveland at plus 380. Baltimore at plus 220. And then Cincy, the favorites for this division, at plus 145. And so we're going to start with Cincy. So Cincy, in 2022, they started the season 2-3. So why did this team struggle to start the season? Weeks 1 and 4, they ranked number 17th in pass rate on early downs, on first downs, which was about 48% or so. So what did they do to change that? They went from number 17th to the first. They started to throw the ball more in early downs and just stopped running the ball early, which helped them out a lot. Why else did they struggle? They faced a lot of too high coverages defenses. So what does that mean? Burrow just had to throw the ball short. They had a lot of safeties playing deep, and Burrow just had to throw underneath and throw the ball short. Burrow averaged only 3.9 yards on early down versus cover 2, so that was not good. He was not getting the ball deep at all. That ranked 31st among 32 teams in the league, so they were struggling very big against cover 2 defenses. Worse in the league, actually, so that's pretty bad to have Joe Burrow struggle against this, so they needed to fix it. So how did they fix this? Well, they just got rid of play action and just went everything to shotgun. So shotgun on early downs, they went from 60% shotgun to a league high 88% of the time using shotgun on early down. Why did this help the Bengals out so much? It reduced Joe Burrow's pressure rate. He didn't have to worry about turning his back to fake the play action or anything. He just hiked the ball and look at his field, look for his receivers right away. Pressure, week 1 to 4, Joe Burrow was pressured on 30% of his early down throws. That's incredible. After week 5, he only hit 30% mark one time. So the Bengals, they made big adjustments throughout the season after week 4, and then they went on a winning spree and made it very far in the playoffs. So they're a good team at making changes, and that shows they have great coaching and players that will listen. So I do like Cincy this year. They're at 11.5 wins, and they could definitely go over and definitely win the Super Bowl this year. They have a talented team and a pretty good O-line. They're not used to having a good O-line. Their O-line this year is projected to be ranked number 12th, so just above the league average. So look for Cincy to make a playoff run this year. So with that, now we're going to hit the Browns. The Browns are projected at 9.5 wins. Last year they went 7-10 as a team. They kind of struggled a little, and we're going to talk about why did they struggle. Well, they ranked 14th in yards per carry at 4.9 yards. So they have Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league, and their league average at running the ball. So there's a big issue there, and we're going to talk about why. They stopped using 2 tight end sets. Harrison Bryant could not pass block, could not run block, and so they just got him off the field and used more receivers. And with that, the Browns just could not run the ball. So in 2021, when they used 2 tight end receiver sets, they averaged 5.6 yards per carry. In 2022, that 5.6 went all the way down to 4.6. So they averaged a yard less per carry in 2022 versus 2021. Harrison Bryant is the main culprit for this. He did not do well run blocking, and so Cleveland Browns just had to bench him pretty much, and they struggled because of that. They couldn't run the ball well. So what can they do this year to make sure they're an elite team and can do well? So they have to utilize the play action and stop running the ball so much on early downs. They ran the ball on first downs a lot last year, and that forced them second and longs. And second and longs, if you don't make a completion, it's third and longs. And if you have third and longs, too many of them throughout the game, you're not going to win. So they need to utilize play action and stop running the ball early. So when they did do play action, they averaged 8.6 yards per attempt. Versus when they ran the ball in early downs, they averaged only 4.3 yards per carry. So they need to start utilizing play action and open up the field that way. So, but now we're going to talk about some positives about last season. So Deshaun Watson, he came in halfway through the year and did not look like himself. He hasn't played football in a while due to legal issues and all that stuff. This year he has a full training camp, full off season to get better. So I expect him to make that step up and be more like the Houston Deshaun Watson. Last year they played 2 bad weather games as well, so that really hurt them out a lot. They have a very talented roster, and their O-line, which I like this O-line a lot, their O-line is ranked number 3 to start the year out. So I think they could go pretty far. I mean, 9.5 wins, I would not be surprised if they go over this and can maybe make the playoffs. So we'll have to wait and see. Now let's talk about the Steelers. The Steelers are a unique team. They have had a winning season for the past 16 years. That's very incredible. Mike Tomlin has been a great coach and knows how to coach these guys and get wins. But now we're going to talk about Kenny Pickett. So Kenny Pickett last year, he struggled to start the year off. He lost 3 of his first 4 games. But after that, after their Week 9 bye, he went 7-2 with those 2 losses coming from Cincy and Baltimore. So Pittsburgh did a good job adjusting for him. Now we're going to talk about where he struggled and how he can get better. So last year, Kenny Pickett, yards per attempt were at 5.9 on early downs with a low success rate. That ranked number 33 in the NFL. He was not throwing the ball far on first downs. He was not stretching the field at all. But on third downs, he ranked 7.7, which was a top 10 in the league. He did very well on third downs, but that's an issue that I see. Third downs performance is tough to predict year over year and shouldn't be relied upon. So that could be a big issue if they have to rely on third downs more this year. Kenny Pickett, he also struggled on throws 10-plus yards downfield. So when he threw the ball 10-plus yards, he was number 31st in completion rate, number 32nd in success rate, number 33 in first down rate, and number 33 in yards per attempt. All those statistics, he ranked 30th, like almost dead last in the NFL. He did very bad throwing the ball deep. And that shows because he only had 7 TDs that were 10-plus yards thrown. That is the lowest in the NFL. So they're going to need to, this year they're going to need to stretch the ball, stretch the field, throw the ball deeper, use Kenny Pickett, use Deontay Johnson, try to get deep throws and try to spread the field out. So let's talk about the good news, though. The good news. Last year they faced the 3rd toughest run defense and the 6th toughest pass defense. That goes to, for this year, it's going to be the 16th toughest run defense and the 13th toughest pass defense. So they have a much easier schedule, and this season just basically depends on Kenny Pickett. Can he progress? Can he become better as a QB? It relies pretty much all on him. And so can he keep their winning streak going? Can they go from 16 consecutive wins to 17 years? It just depends on Kenny Pickett, so we'll have to wait and see. So now, let's talk about the Ravens. I'm a big Lamar Jackson guy. I think he do very well this year. Lamar Jackson, he is 45-15 when he is healthy and finishes a game. That is elite. That is a 75% win rate. That is incredible pretty much. He is a great quarterback. But now we're going to have to talk about what the Ravens can do this year to make sure they make the playoffs and make sure they go a deep playoff push. So they have to build a pass. So in 2019 and 2020, the Ravens scored TDs on 35% of their first quarter. That's an incredible rate. That led the NFL right there. But for 21 and 2022, that rate went from 35% all the way down to 11%. They really struggled in first quarter scoring the ball, and it's very important to build a lead because then you control the pace of the game. The other team has to play catch up and throw the ball more, but when you have the lead, you can throw it, you can run it, just control the pace and control the game. So that's a big reason why a lot of teams win. So that's one thing the Ravens have to do. The next thing they have to do is improve their red zone efficiency. So in 2022, the Ravens drove into the red zone on 34% of their first half drives. That ranked number 7th in the NFL. So they're very good at getting to the red zone. But what do they do in the red zone? Not score the ball much. Their TDs per drive ranked number 15th. Again, they were number 7th in the NFL getting to the red zone, but their TD ranked 15th, and their points per drive ranked 19th. Per statistics, they were 30th in red zone efficiency. 30th, one of the worst teams in the NFL scoring in the red zone, but they got there pretty easily. So that's something they'll have to fix this year. But now let's look at the positives for the Ravens. They got rid of offensive coach Greg Roman. He was pretty bad. I did not like him at all. They changed to a new guy who's going to use 11 personnel, 3 receivers on the field. So they'll have Zay Flowers, OBJ, and Rashard Bateman. So utilizing those receivers, I can see Lamar Jackson throwing the ball a lot more and their offense being very good. And they get to start the season out pretty easy. So they get a rookie QB in week 1 in C.J. Stroud, and then another rookie QB in week 3, Anthony Richardson. Week 2, they do get Cincinnati, but Joe Burrow is hurt a little with a calf strain, and I don't know if that will affect him or not early in the season, so we'll have to wait and see. But if he can't play, they're going to start the season out 3-0, and they might never look back from there, so we'll have to wait and see. And then the last thing is their O-line. They have a very great O-line. They have the 8th ranked O-line, so I really like this Ravens team, and I think they can go far. But now, before we end it, let's look at the projected standings I have for this year. So coming in 4th, I have Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is going to have to be more efficient this year, be better on play actions, be able to throw the ball down the field. If they win or lose this season, it all depends on him and his progression. But I would not be surprised if they go over 500 this year and go over their win total as well. And number 3, we have Cleveland. Kind of similar to Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett. This depends on Deshaun Watson and his progression. Is he going to stink like last year? Is he going to be better like he was in Houston? I think things point towards him being a lot better. This team is very talented, and I can see them doing well. This is a very tough division, though, so I can see Pittsburgh going over their win total and Cleveland as well. And number 2, we have Cincy. So Cincy can be a Super Bowl favorite. They can make a deep push. I mean, this is their year to do it, pretty much. They have a great offense, pretty good defense. O-line's much better this year. Joe Burrow is elite. So I could see them going far. The only reason why I don't like them coming in first is because I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's a great quarterback, and I feel like he finally has weapons now and can do very well this year. And so that's why I'm going with Baltimore. Other than that, that's all I have, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always, stay on the grind, and money never sleeps.